Live from CBS4, your news at 6 starts right now.
Thousands of nurses could take on duties doctors typically perform at VA hospitals all around the country. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bob Donaldson.
I'm Debbie Knox. It's a proposal the VA is looking to have in place to alleviate some of its notorious and controversial wait times.
CBS4's James Girardi has more from the Rowdebush VA Hospital.
We've all heard the horror stories, incredibly long waits to be seen at VAs across the country. Well, in an effort to reduce those waits, there's a proposal to have nurses take on a bigger role. Not everyone, though, is on board. Highly trained nurses could be taking on doctoral duties at the VA. The department has proposed a rule change allowing advanced practice nurses to prescribe medications, do diagnostic testing, and in some cases even administer anesthesia, all with hopes more vets will be seen and the notoriously long lines for care will downsize. Public comments on the proposal pouring in, many fearful the change would reduce quality of veteran care. As the family member of a veteran, I know the incredible sacrifices America's servicemen and women made for our country. I urge VA to preserve the high-quality, physician-led anesthesia care that our nation's veterans currently receive. I oppose any policy that would lead to the removal of physicians practicing anesthesia in the operating rooms of American heroes.
The concerns and the fears are really misplaced.
Organizations like the Indiana State Nurses Association argue advanced practice nurses are highly trained and specialized. When it comes to taking care of veterans, nurses, they say, are more than capable.
It's not necessarily about adding responsibilities as it is allowing the advanced practice nurses or potentially nurses of all levels to practice to the extent that they are educated and trained to practice.
In fact, many advanced practice nurses in Indiana already perform the duties the VA is looking to have nurses take on.
This proposed rule from the VA is going to increase the efficiency that all of the healthcare providers of all levels, physicians, nurses, all across the board within the VA can operate.
Any proposed rule change for the VA requires a public comment period. The period for this change expires on July 25th. If you'd like to weigh in, contact your local VA. Reporting downtown, James Girardi, CBS4 News.
Hoosier Democrats are coming to the defense of a judge from Indiana who has come under fire from Donald Trump. Judge Gonzalo Curiel is overseeing a lawsuit against Trump University. Trump has repeatedly brought up Judge Curiel's Mexican heritage. Curiel was born in East Chicago, Indiana. Now the Indiana Democratic Party is asking why Republicans and fellow Hoosiers aren't sticking up for the judge.
Thus far, every Republican official in the state of Indiana has said they will support the Republican nominee. That presumptive nominee is Donald Trump, and we're hearing nothing from them. So this is where he crossed the line, talking about a Hoosier, and we're hearing nothing from our Hoosier elected officials.
Donald Trump claims Judge Curiel is biased and has made unfair rulings in his lawsuit.
I think it's pretty interesting that Chris is telling us to hydrate already. It's going to be really hot. We're going to hear about that in just a second, but we're also going to take a live look over downtown. Beautiful and warm day across central Indiana, but we'll also take a bit of a cool down before the heat wave. Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Chris Wright has what you can expect tonight. Hey, Chris.
Yeah, Debbie, it looks like we're going to stay dry tonight across central Indiana. We were concerned about the possibility of strong and severe storms across east central Indiana, but those storms never really developed for us, so things are going to stay dry. We'll stay warm on through the evening, and as a cold front moves through later on tonight, we'll still have a slight chance of a shower or a storm, but we'll get that cooler air coming in as early as tomorrow. We could use it. We saw high temperatures well in the 80s today. Average high temperature 79, so above average this afternoon. The forecast for this evening, a 9 o'clock temperature 73, by 11 o'clock the temperature at 68. Cooler for tomorrow. We'll look ahead coming up in your Weather Authority forecast.
All right, Chris, we'll see you then. We're learning new information tonight about an officer-involved shooting in Muncie that left one man dead over the weekend. The coroner tells CBS4 that man was shot 5 times. It marks the 4th officer-involved shooting in Delaware County in less than 2 months. This latest case happened in the 1300 block of West 18th Street Saturday afternoon. Officers responded to a home where a 15-year-old was stabbed. Police say they found 31-year-old Larry Stepp holding a knife. Court documents say officers asked him to put that knife down, but Stepp continued to approach them.
They're out of control. The criminals are out of control, and you've got to have respect for the police. So then they shot him in the leg, and he still lunged after him. So they did the only thing they could do.
They didn't tase him. They didn't shoot him in the arm or in the leg. They shot to kill. And when that first shot hit his chest, that knife was out.
Neighbors say the teenage girl who was stabbed is now out of the hospital. The two officers who fired their weapons are on administrative leave.
Also tonight, Indianapolis police are investigating a pair of apparently random overnight shootings that may involve the same shooter. One victim was shot while riding his bike next to his dog on the northeast side. The suspect asked for directions, then shot the victim twice, once in the chest. The shooter sped away driving a dark-colored, possibly maroon Chevy Impala. Police say that same car was also likely involved in a shooting 45 minutes earlier on Gladstone, that's on the city's east side.
I have no idea what the guy's motivation was. All he wanted to do was ask me a question and shoot me. I don't know what was going on through the man's mind, but I hope he's brought to justice and he can turn his life around, and he should be glad that he didn't kill anybody today.
Yeah, both victims will be okay. Their wounds are not life-threatening.
For the second year in a row, IMPD and Gleaners are hoping that feeding residents will lead to safer communities. Residents on the east side gathered at the Mount Zion Apostolic Church near 38th and Emerson for the first Gleaners Care mobile food pantry of the summer. All across the city, 5 days a week, Gleaners in the city will serve up food and other services in an effort to strengthen relationships with the community.
Because of Gleaners' work over the last year, more and more people that are showing up to get food and interacting with our employees are starting to call police and share information. They're starting to know that they have a very important role in solving the crimes in our community.
IMPD and Gleaners hopes food security breeds goodwill and security.
Well, some local police departments are making it easier for you to see who they are and what they do every day. Bloomington police have signed on to a national 21st century policing initiative. They just released 10 raw sets of data for the public to look through. The data includes department demographics, citizens' complaints, use of force, and other information. It even covers all 12,000 calls that officers responded to between January and March.
Well, really what we're looking for is for people to do what they want with it. I mean, that's the whole idea, is we're releasing raw data. This is not analyzed data. It's not data that we're putting through any filters. We're not putting any spin on this.
Indianapolis has also been releasing data as part of this new program. Both cities say they hope that the citizens will look through it so they can learn more and possibly even help spot some trends. IMPD continues to add men and women to the force with the swearing in of the 13th recruit class today. 33 recruits, including 3 Latinos, 9 African Americans, and 1 Asian, raised their hands and took the oath to serve and protect today. Mayor Joe Hogsett has promised to raise the number of minority recruits so that the force will more closely resemble the population of the city that it patrols.
Tonight, the City County Council will hear more about the agreement involving the old Coke bottling plant on Mass Ave. IPS owns that property. They've reached an initial agreement with the city to allow a developer to build on the site. If a deal with the developer is not reached within a year, the city will have to buy the property. Some councilors have expressed concern that the developer did not take the neighborhood into account when coming up with its plan, and they have questions about the city's fiscal commitment.
Greenwood is planning some big improvement projects. Today, city leaders announced that they will spend more than $21 million on new public safety vehicles and road improvements. Some of the things that they plan to buy include 4 new police patrol vehicles and replacing some fire department vehicles as well. The 4-way stop at Main Street and Graham Road will now become a traffic signal. Several local roads will also be repaved, and the community center is getting remodeled.
A CBS4 update tonight. A woman critically injured when an SUV crashed through a sub shop on the near south side is now home. Tina Scruggs was trapped under the rubble of Griner's sub shop after the SUV crash in February. According to her GoFundMe page, she's endured 17 surgeries. Scruggs has had no use of her right arm, and her leg is still healing from skin grafts. Police say 41-year-old Deanna Shoemaker intentionally drove her SUV into the shop that day. Indiana Congressman Todd Rokita is helping a wounded Hoosier veteran get the treatment he needs. Rokita volunteers as a pilot for Veterans Airlift Command flights. The organization flies veterans across the country for free to make sure they aren't limited in getting medical help. Yesterday, Rokita flew James Smith from Monroe County to Pittsburgh. He has to travel to Pittsburgh to get follow-up treatments for injuries from an IED.
Well, in the Colts Blue Zone now, fans receive free tickets to the Colts minicamp and movie night at Speedway on the north side. Colts cheerleaders were handing out Colts car flags and tickets for the mini camp presented by Speedway on June the 8th at Lucas Oil Stadium. Fans will get to enjoy a variety of activities, in fact, on the field, while they're going to get to watch practice and then see the Lego movie. So don't worry if you didn't get your ticket today, you can still get them online for free. And a traffic authority alert for you tonight. Contractors for INDOT are closing the left 2 lanes of southbound Interstate 65 at the bridge over Crooked Creek. That's just east of Kessler Boulevard. Closures will begin about 9 tonight and reopen before rush hour tomorrow morning.
The Children's Museum wants to expand to build a massive outdoor sports complex, but some families are on the fence when it comes to the safety of their children because of crime in the area.
West now makes its way into central Indiana, where it was just found.
Honey, did you order a walking Norman Rockwell painting?
Hey,
little sister.
Garrett? Oh my God.
The Silver Bells killer committed 6 murders.
We are not a family of psychopaths.
You work hard. It's time you do better.
A governor for Indiana, raised on Hoosier values. That's John Gregg. Roll up your sleeves, get it done. He learned that growing up as a kid in Sanborn. He worked his way through college and full-time to pay for law school at night. Elected Speaker of the House in 1996, he put leadership ahead of partisanship.
In the face of a recession, John joined with my fellow Republicans to balance the budget and fund education.
John left office to work in business. He understands what it takes to create jobs. He then became president of Vincennes University, where he helped expand vocational training and turn the school around. John Gregg, a governor to lead on the issues that matter to us.
We all know paychecks aren't keeping up for working families. My approach takes the best ideas from Democrats, Republicans, and independents to create good-paying jobs.
John Gregg for governor, working for Indiana.
Thank you so much for your business. I hope Old National's your bank for life.
I need money for pet food, Mr. Taylor.
Hey, that's cheating.
You're watching CBS4 News.
Today is the 72nd anniversary of D-Day. On June 6, 1944, more than 150,000 U.S., British, and Canadian forces stormed 5 different beaches along a 50-mile stretch of the Normandy region of France. Allied casualties on D-Day have been estimated at 10,000 killed, wounded, and missing in action, 6,603 Americans, 2,700 British, and 946 Canadians. The operation was the largest amphibious invasion in history. Community members gathering today to remember Robert F. Kennedy, who was assassinated on this day in 1968. Senator Kennedy was on a campaign swing through Indiana on the night of April 4th, 1964, when he announced to a crowd gathered in a city park at 1701 North Broadway that Martin Luther King Jr. had been murdered. Organizers of today's memorial service have a dream of developing King Park into a destination location where visitors will learn about the peace and cooperation that Reverend King and Senator Kennedy espoused and died for in 1968.
Well, today the organization Rocksteady Boxing is holding its annual golf outing. The event benefits the group and their fight against Parkinson's disease. Rocksteady Boxing is a unique exercise program adapted to help people fight that disease, Parkinson's. More than 100 golfers hit the links today at Hillcrest Country Club, but for a lot of them, this is their first time swinging a club since being diagnosed with that illness.
We've got several guys that have been golfers for many years that actually hung up the clubs once they got Parkinson's disease, and now that they've been boxing and doing these exercises, they're able to get back out on the course, and it's probably one of the best things, one of the best days in their lives when they get those golf clubs back out.
You bet. This was the third annual golf outing. Last year they raised $25,000 at that event. Well, it's been 2 years since 2 Franklin High School students lost their lives when trying to save their friend. Well, now the Franklin Strong Scholarship Golf Outing is preparing for its second year in remembrance of Jason Moran and Michael Chadbourne. Moran and Chadbourne died after jumping into Big Blue River June of 2014. They were trying to save their friend, Sarah McLevish, who suffered brain injuries. A scholarship will be awarded now to a Franklin Community High School senior who exemplifies the same qualities of selflessness and caring as Moran and Chadbourne. The golf outing is at Hillview Country Club this Thursday.
New at 6, the Children's Museum will soon announce a major expansion downtown. However, there are some safety concerns about the project. CBS4's Brian Bondis reports on the proposed multi-million-dollar sports complex at the museum and the impact it could have on the area.
The Indianapolis Children's Museum hopes to turn these 300 or so parking spots behind me into a huge outdoor sports complex. That has families in the area excited, but also concerned about their child's safety. Renderings presented to the Metropolitan Development Commission last month call for lots of activities: mini golf, go-karts, football, soccer, and basketball, to name a few.
I think that's a great idea because we always have to go other places in order to enjoy ourselves in that way.
Jacinta Hargis and her family live on 32nd Street, catty corner to the proposed complex. For now, the development is expected to replace 332 parking spots north of the Children's Museum between Illinois and Meridian, with what's being called the Sports Legends Experience. A 15,000 square foot pavilion would connect the museum to the sports area. However, some are concerned about the safety of children playing outside in that part of town.
So I've been in this area probably about 3 years, and I've seen some crazy stuff go on.
Since December, there's been 16 reports of robbery, battery, drugs, and death investigations within 2 blocks of the Children's Museum. Hargis and her family aren't strangers to those crimes.
Even we just had a break-in a week ago, stole our 67-inch TV and everything.
Even so, Hargis is all for the new complex and how it could transform her community.
I think it'll actually detour some of the things that the bad things that happen around here, because when you got a presence of a large amount of people, normally it'll push the crime out.
Museum officials declined talking to me for this story, but say they plan to present a lot more information on the project along with their partners at an event later this month. We'll keep you updated. Reporting from the Children's Museum, Brian Bondis, CBS4 News.
Museum officials did just get back with us and say they take security and safety very seriously. They would never do something without fully thinking through the safety and well-being of their guests, employees, and their neighbors.
Well, we have a for your health alert tonight. Mosquitoes carrying West Nile have been found in Marion County, more specifically, in fact, in Warren Township. No human cases of the virus have been reported so far this year. Let's hope they stay away.
Well, there's not going to be a whole lot of rain, I guess, not in the next couple of days, at least to pond up and cause those mosquitoes to become pesky. But it is going to get pretty warm by the end of the week.
We've got the warmest air of the season coming in by the end of the week, so we're going to get a nice break before that warm air comes in. We'll find temperatures staying in the 70s for the next couple of days. On Live Guardian radar, a couple of isolated showers and storms up in northeast Indiana. Elsewhere, the state is dry. Dry here in Indiana. Not a good day for a trip down to Florida. Heavy rainfall with Tropical Storm Colin right now. Much of Florida getting heavy rainfall. That storm right now 70 miles south-southwest of Apalachicola. It's going to move across the Florida Panhandle early on Tuesday morning and then scoot along the coast of the Carolinas during the day on Tuesday before finally getting out into the Atlantic and getting away from the U.S. mainland. Before it does that, we're talking 5 to 8 inches of rain being associated with that storm. We've got sunshine right now. We saw stiff winds today coming in from the west up to 36 miles per hour. Right now, wind from the west 21 miles per hour. The temperature 84. That's our high for today. We saw temperatures in the 80s again today across central Indiana. 9 of the past 11 days, we've had high temperatures above the average high of 79. If you go back to last week, we had a week of 80-degree temperatures for an average high of 85. This week, a couple of days in the 70s will lower that average down to an average high of 81, and then the heat will come roaring back in this weekend. CBS4 Future View shows a nice dry day of weather for us during the day tomorrow. Maybe an isolated shower or two, but I think we'll keep it dry tomorrow with north winds coming in 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that'll keep high temperatures in the 70s. We'll stay dry for us coming up tomorrow night, and heading into Wednesday, I think we'll see more sunshine across the area, keeping the temperature in the 70s on Wednesday. Then Thursday and Friday, we start warming things up, and by the time the weekend rolls around, we're talking high temperatures in the 90s. In the overnight forecast, down to 56 degrees, a northwest wind at 10 to 15 miles per hour. We'll enjoy sunshine tomorrow, the high at 72, not as warm, a breezy, cool day. In the 7-day forecast from the Weather Authority, here comes your warm-up, the high temperature at 75 with sunshine coming up on Wednesday, 85 on Thursday, and 88 with a chance of thunderstorms on Friday. And then for the weekend, 92 on Saturday and 90 on Sunday. Possibly a few late-day storms popping up in that hot, humid air coming up on Sunday afternoon. Also scattered storms possible on Monday.
All right, Chris, thank you very much.
Mike Berman's talking about racing this evening, huh?
Yeah, we're talking about racing. We got a race at Pocono with the NASCAR guys today that was rained out. And, of course, a couple of races, the duel in Detroit over the weekend. For the IndyCar drivers, we'll hear from the winner of Sunday's duel in Detroit race. Been a long time since he had been in Victory Circle. Plus, look at these guys. Look at these three yokels. Mo, Larry, and Curly right there. Yeah, the PGA Tour stopping in town soon, about 3 months away from that BMW Championship at Crooked Stick. We took it for a spin today on Media Day. We'll let you know how it went. I'll give you a clue. It didn't go well. That's in sports.
Oh, you were on Crooked Stick on a day like today.
I was thrilled to be there, but I didn't hit it well.
No such thing as a bad day. YMCA in central Indiana having trouble paying its utility bills. Tonight on CBS4 News at 11, how this could leave those seeking the Y services in the dark.
More than 6 million years in the making, 4 million visitors a year. The Grand Canyon. Go deeper into the stories of this amazing natural wonder. Now at the Idle-Jorg Museum.
This is our produce section. Every year at Marsh, we source over 4 million pounds of produce from Indiana farms. Sourcing locally is fresher. Sourcing locally is better for the farmers in Indiana. It's better for everyone. The fields of possibility are all over Indiana. Shop fresh, shop local, shop Marsh.
It's a great feeling to be able to tell a client we can restore your hair. A hair and scalp analysis will magnify the follicles by 50 times to help us determine what solutions we have for your thinning hair. Whatever the reason for your hair loss, we can help.
Laser hair therapy grew my hair back. These transitions did restore more than just my hair.
Call 1-800-GET-HAIR for your free hair and scalp analysis and 2 weeks of treatments absolutely free.
With what college costs, I was worried that my son wouldn't get an education that would lead to a good job. We looked at a lot of colleges, and I kept thinking, will he learn anything useful? Is it worth it? Then we looked at Vincennes University. It's a school we can afford. They have lots of majors that lead to good jobs, and he can live on campus. He'll get the education he needs, and we'll save thousands of dollars.
Higher learning, lower cost. Indiana's first college, Vincennes University.
This new Rallies and Checkers strawberry smoothie is perfect for air conditioning my insides. That's heat-busting goodness for a super chill price. Introducing fruit and cream smoothies and Kool-Aid slushies. Rallies and Checkers. Fast foodies know the deal.
Need a longer-lasting bulb? Batteries Plus Bulbs has a huge selection of LEDs starting at just $1.99. Batteries Plus Bulbs. Trust the plus.
All right, guys, we brought you to this construction trailer to talk about trucks today. Which truck brand offers engines with best-in-class V8 towing or fuel economy?
Are we moving? We're going. It's the answer to the question, baby. Silverado. Ooh, that's cool.
It's Truck Month.
Qualified buyers get 0% financing for 60 months. Plus, find your tank and get $8,250 total value on this Silverado All-Star. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
You don't want to miss the Talbot Street Art Fair, June 11th and 12th. Browse the works of over 270 amazing artists from across the nation. And the best part? Free admission. For more information, go to talbotstreet.org.
Indy Sports Central, presented by Ortho Indy.
And we welcome you back for sports. I'm Mike Berman. What began in mid-April is set to finish up this week. The Colts off-season program will conclude with minicamp tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tomorrow and Thursday take place at the complex, but Wednesday's the big day. That's when there is open practice at Lucas Oil Stadium. Workout begins at about 5:30, then stick around for my favorite movie, the Lego Movie, beginning at 8. I've never seen that movie. I have no clue. 2 games into the finals, it's all Warriors. Game 2, a total joke. The Dubs annihilating the Cavs by 33 to take a 2-0 series lead. Couple more wins and Golden State goes back-to-back, but Steph Curry not putting the cart ahead of the horse.
We haven't won anything, really. We took care of home court advantage, which is what we're supposed to do. There's still a lot of basketball left, and you know, how we show up in Cleveland will be a big test for us.
Okay, whatever. The series is over. Where has the time gone? With the duel in Detroit complete, we are halfway through the IndyCar season. Saturday, Sebastian Bourdais found victory lane. Yesterday's race, Will Power ended a 19-race winless streak. You're on board with Simon Pagenaud, his teammate. You can see Power's 12 car zooming past him on the left. The Team Penske driver glad to be back in victory lane after that long absence.
On a personal front, it's been a long time, so it meant a lot to win a race again and kind of get the crew and myself some momentum and confidence. And obviously, it's Roger's home race, you know, at his home city, and it's also Chevy's home city, and to win for both of them is you know, a great feeling.
All right, how about the Sprint Cuppers running in Pocono this afternoon after yesterday's rainout? Beautiful day there. 67 laps to go. Tony Stewart gets loose, slides up the track, bashes into teammate Danica Patrick. Stewart finishes 34th, Patrick 32nd. The news isn't all bad for Stewart-Haas Racing. Kurt Busch has to save fuel at the end, but he's got enough of it to cross the stripe first. It's his first win of the season. Finally this evening, Media Day going on at Crooked Stick as we look ahead to 3 months from now in the BMW Championship. Lots of changes to the golf course since the event last stopped in central Indiana in 2012. After a highly successful week 4 years ago, excitement building for early September.
The players absolutely love the golf course. The leaderboard was tremendous. You saw Rory McIlroy win the championship. The volunteer support we received, the corporate support, attendance was great. All those things contributed to the tournament being voted the best tournament in 2012.
Let me just tell you, that course is in good shape.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
A little tougher shape than I would like.
How'd you do, you know?
We only have a couple of seconds left for weather.
Nice and warm out there tomorrow, but not as warm as today. 72 tomorrow, 75 on Wednesday.
Thanks for joining us for CBS4 News at 6. The CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley is next.
And we are back with the CBS4 News at 11. Until then, have a great night.